Kelly, and Senator Bozeman, you follow on the heels of Senator Kelly. And then I understand that we're going to have another vote back over in the Senate later today. It's an interesting afternoon. All right, Mark, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to both Secretary Connor and General Spellman for joining us today. As we begin drafting the 2022 WRDA bill, it's important to me that we ensure the Army Corps of Engineers has the authorities and the resources necessary to respond to the drought that's facing Arizona and other western states. And as the bill moves through the Senate, I'm hopeful that we can work together to ensure a whole government approach to respond to this severe drought. It's not like anything we've seen in our lifetimes. It's been going on 22 years now. It's significant. Secretary Connor, as a former commissioner of the Bureau of Reclamation, I know you know the importance of these issues, so I'd like to start my questions with you. As you know, the 2020 WRDA bill authorized a new Section 595 Western Infrastructure Program in Arizona, which allows localities in Arizona to receive funding for a variety of water and wastewater projects. What updates can you share about the Corps' work to stand up and fund this program, and how do you think a program like this can help Arizona adapt to changing drought conditions?
Senator Kelly, thank you for the question. As you and I discussed, I understand from that prior service, Arizona is at the epicenter of drought in the Colorado River Basin and facing shortages to the supply that it's long relied on. And I think the environmental infrastructure program, so we've already started funding. Pasco Yaqui Tribe, I believe, got about $1 million to move forward with water supply pipeline. I think that's one aspect, but in the dialogue that you and I have had and with others, I also understand there's about $70 million of identified projects already. And that's a good thing. We have a whole of government approach. I know the Interior Department has a lot of responsibilities and resources that it will be applying to the Colorado River system, but we can do our part in working with your communities who are developing innovative strategies under that environmental infrastructure program, managed aquifer recharge, reuse activity. So we will look forward to trying to work with the resources we have, and there were additional resources in the IIJA for environmental infrastructure, and I know it's been part of the congressionally directed spending in past appropriations bills, so we will put that to good use whenever we can to help address these resource issues. And I think even in our overall programs that we're undertaking in Arizona, looking at how we integrate flood protection and water supply and look for opportunities for multi-benefits is going to be a key part of what we do moving forward.
Do you think this will help us deal with the drought situation we're facing?
I think it's an absolute critical part of the drought situation is that, you know, there's always going to be some reliance on the Colorado River, but having these local strategies developed through the water supply and reuse and wastewater projects that we're talking about and flood control, I think that's the future. It needs to be.
So broadening this out a little bit, do you believe that the Corps' main authorities for flood risk management, ecosystem restoration, and water supply are sufficient to allow the Corps to play its part in responding to drought conditions in the western United States?
I think I'm going to have to look into that more closely. I know we have authorities to engage in projects and activities, whether they're long-term enough, whether they've got the right parameters to ensure we're looking at this. I think we have the discretion to do that, but that'll be an ongoing dialogue, and I'll get with you and your staff on
That's
that.
what I'd like you to do. So if there are additional authorities which the Corps could benefit from to address water supply issues unique to the western United States, if you could get us that information, and General Spellman, the same for you, that would be incredibly helpful. And we'll work with both of you to make sure that within, you know, if it makes sense to get you the authorities that you need.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I yield back the remainder of my time.
All right, thanks. Thanks, Senator Kelly. And we've been rejoined by Senator Bozeman.